Welcome to this video on the Devadasi system in ancient India. In this exploration, we will delve into the origins, prevalence, and significance of this complex cultural practice. The Devadasi system, rooted in religious and artistic traditions, held a profound impact on the lives of women in ancient India. The Devadasi system refers to a historical practice prevalent in parts of South Asia, particularly in India. Devdasis were women who were dedicated to serving a Hindu deity or temple. The term Devadasi is derived from the Sanskrit words Deva, meaning deity or god, and Dasi, meaning servant or female slave. Originally, Devdasis held a respected position in society. They were trained in various art forms, including dance, music, and poetry, and performed rituals and ceremonies in temples. They played a significant role in temple rituals, acting as intermediaries between the human and divine realms. However, over time, the Devadasi system underwent changes and became associated with the practice of sex work and exploitation. Some Devadasi were forced into prostitution, serving as courtesans to wealthy patrons. They faced social stigma and lived on the fringes of society. The Devadasi system has its roots in ancient India and underwent significant development over time. The Devadasi tradition can be seen as having connections to ancient Vedic practices and religious beliefs. In early Vedic texts such as the Rigveda, dating back to around 1500 to 1200 BCE, there are mentions of women dedicated to deities and serving in religious ceremonies. These practices involved women performing sacred rituals and offering their services in the service of the gods. The Devadasi system gained prominence and underwent significant development during the medieval period, which spanned from the 6th to the 18th century CE. This period saw the establishment of various regional dynasties and the construction of elaborate temple complexes. During this time, temples became important centers of religious and cultural activities. The Devadasi played a crucial role in these activities, contributing to the preservation and propagation of artistic traditions such as dance, music, and poetry. They were dedicated to specific temples and considered servants of the deities worshipped in those temples. As the Devadasi system evolved, the role of Devdasis expanded beyond religious rituals. They became patrons of the arts and contributed to the development of regional dance and music forms. Their performances were seen as offerings to the deities and were an integral part of temple ceremonies and festivals. The Devadasi system reached its peak during the medieval period in India. This era witnessed the flourishing of the practice, with notable developments and its prominence within society. One significant factor contributing to the prevalence of the Devadasi system was the Bhakti movement. The Bhakti movement emerged from the 7th century CE onwards and emphasized personal devotion to deities. Devotees sought to establish a direct and intimate relationship with the divine, expressing their devotion through various means, including art and music. Devadasi played a crucial role in the Bhakti movement. They were considered as embodiments of devotion and used their artistic talents, such as dance and music, to express their devotion to the deities. They became revered figures within the temple and religious communities, regarded as vehicles through which people could connect with the divine. The Vijayanagara Empire, which thrived from the 14th to the 17th century CE, witnessed the zenith of the Devadasi system. The empire's patronage of the arts and literature, along with its support for temple construction, led to a significant rise in the number of Devadasis and their prominence within society. During this period, the Vijayanagara rulers actively encouraged the arts and cultural activities, considering them integral to the empire's identity and grandeur. Devadasi received royal patronage, and temples became centers of artistic excellence. They played vital roles in temple rituals, cultural performances, and courtly entertainment. Their expertise in dance and music made them highly esteemed and sought after. They became cultural ambassadors, spreading their artistic traditions across different regions, contributing to the richness of Indian classical dance forms such as Bharatanatyam. The Vijayanagara Empire's support and recognition of the Devadasi tradition further solidified their social status and significance within the socio-religious fabric of ancient India. The prevalence of the Devadasi tradition during the medieval period, particularly during the Bhakti movement and the Vijayanagara Empire, highlights the integral role they played in the religious, artistic, and cultural realms of ancient India. Their contributions shaped the landscape of Indian classical arts and reflected the deep-rooted traditions and beliefs of the time. The Devadasi system, despite its initial religious and cultural significance, eventually led to exploitation, social stigma, and marginalization of the women involved. Over time, the Devadasi tradition became associated with forced prostitution and sexual exploitation. They were often subjected to harsh conditions and suffered from the control and exploitation by temple authorities and powerful patrons. They were trapped in a cycle of servitude, facing physical, emotional, and economic exploitation. They faced significant social stigma and were marginalized within society. They were ostracized and viewed as impure and immoral due to the association with sex work. The stigma attached to the Devadasi identity had far-reaching consequences, affecting their social interactions, marriage prospects, and overall societal standing. The generational impact of this stigma has persisted in some communities. In the face of exploitation and marginalization, efforts have been made to address the historical injustices inflicted upon them. In the colonial era, British authorities viewed the Devadasi system as immoral and sought to abolish it through legislation. However, the complete eradication of the system and its aftermath proved to be a complex challenge. In modern times, there have been ongoing initiatives to empower and uplift the descendants of Devadasis. Organizations and activists work towards raising awareness, providing education, healthcare, and vocational training opportunities, and fighting against social stigma. Efforts are also made to revive and celebrate the artistic heritage associated with them in a respectful and non-exploitative manner. Addressing the historical injustices faced by Devadasi involves a multifaceted approach, encompassing legal reforms, social awareness, and support systems. By recognizing the exploitation and marginalization they endured, society strives to rectify the injustices of the past and create a more equitable future. The legacy of the Devadasi system serves as a reminder of the complexities surrounding cultural practices and the need to navigate traditions in a manner that respects the rights and dignity of individuals involved. It also highlights the importance of advocating for gender equality, eradicating exploitation, and embracing the diversity and richness of India's cultural heritage. Please comment below if you have anything more to say about Devadasi tradition in India. And please subscribe to my channel if you want to see more such videos. Thank you.